And I am smiling because this hot moment is happening exactly when we are preparing a masterclass, and more specifically a day that is dedicated to how to turn diamonds, how to turn shit into diamonds. And I am smiling because exactly before this masterclass, everything exploded. Like we realized that we lost all the signups for the masterclass. That would be discovery number one. And then just before coming here live, I had a real hair situation. So it doesn't really matter, or it will matter, but in a positive way, as we will be seeing together during this masterclass. So we are here, we are ready, we are all prepped and primed for this masterclass, and I can't wait to share this with you. Guys, I see you hopping on. Please say hi, please let me know who's watching. I am so freaking excited to be here and share this space and this masterclass with you, and all the learnings, all the adjustments that we've been going through in order to bring this masterclass to you here. So if you're watching me for the first time, if you've just discovering things that we are sharing here for the first time, you are new to my world, please say hi so that I can welcome you. If you are catching this as a replay, please say hi also, because I would so appreciate that, and I'm always getting so happy when I'm seeing people catching the things in which I'm pouring my soul into. So let's get started. Let's get started, because oh my god, this will be a masterclass that I know you will be coming back to again and again and again. Every time you'll need a little bit of tuning up, a little bit of shifting, perspective shifting, energy moving when it comes to how to deal with the things that are happening in the business, in the day-to-day life. I know for sure that many of my clients in my high-level containers, people that have access to me in my messenger, in my Voxer, are asking me this question, or are making this request on a regular basis. Can you please rent a little bit up so that I'm just hearing your voice and I calibrate to that and I vibe up? So this will be that kind of masterclass. It will be the masterclass where I will be sharing with you how I'm taking in my stride the things that are happening and are not really that perfect, are not really that planned, are not really that pleasant. I'm taking them all and I'm using them in order to grow. I'm using them in order to expand my energy even further. I'm using all the things in order to increase my power and my gravitational presence, my magnetism. So here's what I've noticed. What I've noticed more often than not is that people walk through their lives in very small energy bubbles. Like imagine you can see, we can all feel, but imagine that we were present with the energy of the people that we get to interact and cross paths with during our day. And I would like you to, from now on, focus and be present with the energy of the people. And the more focused you will be and present with the energy of the people that you are crossing paths with, you will be realizing this thing, that most of the people are walking in these very small bubbles of energy being mostly consumed by very little things, fighting small fights, getting consumed in tiny battles, and then at the end of the day getting with almost no energy left for the things that they actually desire. Do you feel me? So guys, it says that the Wi-Fi connection is poor, so let me just open one door in order to try to... I will be disappearing for 1 second because I will be switching on 4G to see if it's happening a better connection. Okay, let me know if this is better. Let me know if this is better, if you can see me better now, if sound, image look okay. Okay. So we see people being consumed by these small things, and this is happening mostly when we are going through life from an ego perspective, serving our ego. When we are serving our ego, usually the ego is grabbing us and putting us into very small battles, into very small things, where being driven by ego, we play not to lose. We play from a place of scarcity. We play, you know, not to lose our power, not to lose our control, not to lose the way we are being treated, not to lose whatever we think, our money. So this is the ego game. It's a game where we play not to lose. And as we play not to lose, actually we never get to play to win. Now there is a big energetic difference between playing not to lose and playing to win. When we are playing not to lose, we are just in defensive, right? We are defensive. We are trying to nurture, basically, to serve our fears. We are trying not to lose the ground that we already have. But when we are playing to win, then we are pushing. We are going past our fears. We are going past our limitations, because we don't really care about not losing. We just care to win. So when we are walking through life being driven by our ego, what we are doing is that we are focusing on little small things. Now, guys, please let me know if you can see me well, because it will be it will be not really that pleasant that I'm speaking to myself. I mean, I would love that we have a conversation, and I can't see really your comments, and I don't know if this is just my phone or the connection, or so I would really appreciate your help with this. So the small bubbles of energy of people looking for small things are happening when we are when we are, yes, looking gorgeous as always. Thank you so much, Tasneem. So the truth is that when we want to achieve big things, we need to have a very big energy, a correspondingly big energy that can hold those things that we desire in our life. Now, that big energy cannot be achieved when we are focusing on small things. Because when we are focusing on small things, something happens. It's called vibratory synchronization, vibratory matching, which means that the more we focus on a certain vibration, the more we focus on a certain kind of energy, the more our own vibration, the more our energy syncs up to that thing that is the object of our observation. Like literally, there are lots of studies there. It's absolutely fascinating. If you want to read, you will be seeing how, for instance, our brain syncs up to the frequency of music when we are listening to music. That's why They say, for instance, classical music is so calming, soothing, and it also has healing properties. So it's about how our vibration gets synced up to that other vibration that we are focusing on and we are taking in consciously. The same, there are lots of studies that are showing that our brain waves are getting synced up with the brain waves of the person we are having a conversation with. And then there is an entire, conversation around how actually language learning is happening and communication in general. Anyway, the thing that I would love you to take from here is the fact that when we focus on something, when we give our attention to something, then there is a vibratory synchronization that happens. Which means that if we focus on something small, then our energy syncs up to that smallness. Like imagine that the bad thing, the unpleasant thing, the difficult thing, if we see the situation as an energy ball, since it's unpleasant, since it's tough, since it's difficult, it cannot be really an expansive energy. So it's a very small energy, it's a small bubble, like visually speaking. So if we are giving our attention to that small bubble that is the situation at hand that we, for instance, encounter and have to manage, if we give our full attention to that, what happens is that little by little our energy syncs up to that, meaning it's shrinking. And if we give enough attention to the challenge, then we get to be consumed by it. Our energy that is bigger than whatever is happening to us, by our focus on the difficulty, on the scarcity, on the toughness of a situation, on the ugliness, on whatever it is, the thing that is bothering us, by focusing on that, we are syncing our energy, our vibe to that, and then little by little, with enough focus, we get consumed by that thing. Does this make sense? Do you feel the truth in this? So we end up feeling overwhelmed. We end up feeling tired. Who here feels like I am so tired all the time? I have so many desires, I have so many ideas, so many plans, but I have no freaking energy to do all that I want because my energy is consumed in I don't even know what. This is the best indication, this tiredness, this lack of energy, this feeling of being overwhelmed, it's the best indication that we are giving our energy to little small things, and we are focusing on this smallness, and we are fighting little fights, and then we get drained because instead of sinking our energy to something bigger and allowing it to be expanded, we are just shrinking it. Me, says Gabriela. I mean, I was there. I completely feel you. So that's why it's so important to talk about this. What happens when we are focusing on big things, on big, really big things, like our vision, our next level, the way we see ourselves in the future, our connection with Source, our connection with God, wealth beyond imagination, growth beyond what we can believe. When we are thinking and focusing on all this, check how this feels in our body. How do you feel it when you are thinking and focusing on the concept of God, or on your connection to Source, or on the frequency of overflow, more than enough, more than we can imagine? When we are focusing on our big vision, how we are expanding, how we are growing, how we are going beyond our next levels, how we are reaching our visions, how does it feel in the body? most probably it feels like an expansion. It feels like we are filling up more space, we are taking up more space, we are filling the room. So it's no surprise that, for instance, for the people who are getting depressed or who are really down, it's always useful, for instance, to pray. Why is so useful to pray? Because instead of going and focusing on the problems, people are starting to focus on something bigger than the problems, even bigger than ourselves, which is, God, the source, the presence. So that's why prayer in itself, it's so healing and it's so helpful, because we sync up our energy with something big. And the more we are holding our consciousness in that space, the more we are holding our attention around that big thing, the more expanded we get. Now imagine what happens if we do this on purpose. Imagine what happens if we start expanding our presence, expanding our field, expanding how much space we take more and more. The normal effect, or the first effect of that, will be that the small things will be really small in that energy. The bigger our energy is, the smaller the small things get to be. This means that we get to use them in order to grow without being consumed by them. This means that we get to take in our stride whatever, the universe, the life, day by day life is bringing to us, but we don't get to be knocked down by the thing. We get to just leave it, take it in, and then move on. Like, that person was not very nice in their comment to me. Instead of staying and thinking, but what did they mean? What am I really like that? How could they treat me like this? Oh my God, this is pissing me off so much. And then see, this is the energy that is making us shrink, and we get more and more consumed when we are going, into that spiraling down. So instead of doing that, as we are already feeling ourselves as a big energy, we just take that in, like, that person said something that I don't really like. And I'm not acknowledging that, and I'm not acknowledging that person and the experience, and then I'm choosing not to give too much thought to that. I'm choosing to take eventually a lesson out of that. Like, is there something that I can take out of that encounter? Maybe it's something around, the standards that I am setting for myself, or boundaries, or something around what I'm not available for in terms of behavior around me anymore. This is a lesson that I'm taking in, but then I'm taking it in and I'm continuing with my forward movement. I'm continuing with walking my path. Do you feel what I'm saying? It's not about I'm so big here in my clouds and I'm not even noticing when the ugly things or the bad things are happening in my life. That is not possible. That is just an utopia. I feel that probably we should be so disconnected from our lives in order not to feel all the feels that are coming when something bad or unpleasant is happening to us. It's not about that I am teaching here. It's about being bigger, the bigger energy, being a bigger energy than the thing that is happening, and allowing that thing that is happening to enter your field. You take it in and you allow it to build more of your expansion. Like, I'm taking this, I'm feeling it, I'm feeling annoyed maybe for a little bit, but not long enough for getting consumed by it. I'm feeling the feelings and learning the lesson and moving forward. That's it. And the thing here is that the way we are leading ourselves through those moments is really the most important part. Is the most important part because the history or the story of our journey is being written in these moments when we decide to pivot up. I will be repeating this. Our story, our personal story is being written in these little moments when we decide to pivot up, when we lead ourselves through the moment and we decide to take in whatever is to be taken in and then move up. Use whatever is coming into our field, into our experience in order to grow. Take it in our field as part of our field, allowing our energy to transmute it, but without giving it any chance to consume us. So I would like to bring this into a more practical, because I always love to make things really practical so that you literally have a process to use. So this is what I'm doing when I am encountering moments, difficulties, challenges that are not really that pleasant, that I wish I didn't really have to go through. Are moments when maybe, something made a remark that was not really that pleasant, or technology is not helping, or I don't know, I have unpleasant interaction in a certain relationship, or I maybe don't have the results, the business results that I want to have. It happens, and it happens at any level. What do we do in those moments? Do we get into, oh my God, why does this happen to me? What does this mean about me? Of course I'm sucking at this. Look, I'm doing it again. I'm repeating this again. This is not working again. What is wrong with me? Do you feel the energy shrinking because we are focusing on the wrong questions that are sinking our energy to the energy of the problem, of the situation? So instead of doing that, I'm going to share with you a process which is literally showing you how I'm making my energy bigger so that whatever happens is not taking over me, is not starting to override all my systems, messing up with who I am and where I'm going and how I'm feeling in this moment about me, about life, about business, about myself. Instead of that, we get to go bigger in order to take that thing into our energy. Please let me know if all this makes sense until here, and let me know if you want to hear about the process. It will be really, really a practical way in which you can deal with the things. Like literally, I use this today when I realized, oh my God, I had so many people having signed up for this masterclass and we have zero tracking. Like we have zero tracking. And for one moment, why is this happening? And I allowed it to be one moment. I allowed myself to feel it because I'm just a human like all of us. I allowed myself to feel it, but I didn't spiral down into it. I didn't shrink my energy to sink to it. I went bigger and decided, you know what? I will turn this into something that is useful. I will turn this into one additional way in which I can make a case for what I'm teaching today and sharing with you. I will be using this for growth. I will be using this in my favor. I will be using this in our favor. And I will allow it to expand the energy here even more. So here is, we have Janet. Perfect sense, very helpful. Love to know the process. Yes, I can't wait to share it with you. Megan says yes. Tasnia, I needed to hear this today. Totally understand this. So powerful. It is so freaking powerful. It is. Oh my God. I think that it's a process that each and every one of us should be using recurrently, many times probably per day. Every time we get into a bump, and we tend to give our energy to it, and then instead of using our energy in order to grow and expand and hold the bigger things, as we were saying, we just feel drained and there is no more energy left for holding the big vision things. So no worries, Janet, you can catch the replay, but I'm happy you are here. So here's the process when the shit hits the fan. Here's the process when, the bad conversation happens, when the obnoxious experience kicks in, when, I don't know, something didn't really work the way you wanted it to work, when the results are not exactly at the level of the goals, when whatever that you wanted to happen in a certain way didn't really quite follow the plan, which is literally how life works. So how do we turn that shit into diamonds? I want you first step to feel the thing. Like, this is happening right now. I'm present with it. I'm not ignoring it. I'm not pretending I'm superhuman and I'm above all these things. This is not existing, really. None of us, all of us are super beings, but we are not really superhumans. We are just humans in a human experience, and obviously we have other dimensions than the human us, but it's really important to know how to navigate the human too. So we need to feel the feels first of whatever is happening. We have to acknowledge them, to feel them in order to be able to process them. And then once we process, I move the energy through my body, or if it's something more serious, maybe tapping or some energy healing. And then we take the lesson, like, is there something that I get to learn from here? Is there something that, I get to extract from this situation so that I actually grow through it? And once we have the lesson, I want you to feel yourself getting bigger. Like, literally, in the place where you are right now, you can pick one situation at hand, something that has been bothering you, something that maybe has just happened and is not really that pleasant. I want you to feel the feelings of whatever it is, and then be open to receiving the diamond that comes in the ashes, to receive the learning, to receive the lesson. And then as you are seated, wherever you are seated, allow yourself to feel bigger. Allow yourself to take more space. Allow yourself to feel the room. Allow yourself to zoom out. And as you are getting bigger and bigger and taking more and more space, I'd like you to look at the problem laying down on the floor. Look at it and expand even more. Look at it and feel yourself even bigger. Look at it and decide to take it in your even further expanded field, knowing that it will eventually get transmuted and is now serving you for your growth. The more you go through situations, the more those situations enter your field, the bigger your field is getting, because anything that you are surviving is making you bigger. Anything that you are surviving is making you bigger. We lie down, or the problem lies down. The problem lies down. Like, as we are making ourselves feel bigger and bigger, expanding ourselves, taking more space and more again, and feeling ourselves more and more expanded, I want us to see the problems just being left, lie down on the floor. Like we are here somewhere really, really big and continuously expanding, and the problem is being left lying down on the floor. And we get to look at it and acknowledge it and to take it into our space, but feeling so much bigger than that thing, and allowing the thing to enter our space and allow it to contribute to the space expansion. In this way, through this intention of using anything that is entering our life, our experience, in order to grow our power and our field, our power and our field will always get bigger and bigger. Because whatever we decided is in a way, that's the way the things are. So let's practice seeing whatever we are experiencing as being just a part of our ever-growing and expanding energy, allowing that thing to contribute to the energy expansion while we are getting bigger than that, where we are expanding more farther than that, and use that thing for our growth, and when being called, for the growth of others. Like in this case, as we were saying, we had all these technical problems. I have the hair problems before starting this masterclass. I decided that we will be using this for our growth. It's an example, like Exhibit A, Exhibit B. It's an example that we are using for serving a purpose, for allowing the conversation to become more concrete. So even if when I went through all these things, it was highly unpleasant, I cannot deny it. It was freaking unpleasant. I used it for our growth. I used it for our growth. And by using it for our growth, I allowed it to take a place in my energy field, contributing to its expansion. Who loves this process? And more importantly, who is going to use it? Who is going to use this? It's like a mini energy process. A bit woo-woo, but not so woo-woo. I mean, there is, as we were saying, quite a lot of science behind that. And it will be helping you. It will be helping you to feel bigger than your problems. It will be helping you to intentionally expand your field. It will be helping you to take anything in your stride and use it for your further expansion. It will be helping you and the people in your world. It's a very, very powerful process. There is also another thing that makes a whole lot of a difference in the approach that I have every day. Like, I used to be a warrior. Who here identifies with that? I really used to be a warrior. Like, I would fight for any kind of injustice. I would fight for anything that was not feeling right, when people were not treating other people correctly, when things were not going, as they should ethically be going. I was a warrior. I was standing for a good fight anytime was needed. And in my book, it was always needed for whatever incorrectness I was experiencing. I used to be that person, and guess what was happening? I was drained. I was literally drained all the time, and I was living a very little life because I had no energy for more. Because as we were saying in the beginning of the masterclass, when we are living based on ego, we are playing not to lose. We are playing not to lose positions, not to lose control, not to lose power, not to lose respect, not to lose whatever, image we think that people hold of us. We play not to lose, and I'm inviting you to start playing to win. And when we are playing to win, we are playing bigger. We are giving ourselves permission to feel bigger. We are not giving our energy to small things. We are holding always our vision and the big things at the forefront and going with that. And the best question that I'm asking myself in order to always remind myself what is really at the forefront that I want to keep is, whatever it is that I want to do or to react about or whatever to respond to, I'm asking myself this question: is this going to serve me now, or is this going to serve me now and later? And if the answer is actually it's just going to serve you now, because you will have you will be steaming out, you will be just releasing some steam, you'll be saying whatever you want to say or comes for you to say, and that's it. It will not be serving you later for whatever happens later. It will just be serving you now. Then I let go of doing, reacting, showing up in that thing, in the way that the impulsive part of me is pushing me to show up. Like, I am showing up only for what is serving me now and later. And this is the best question that you can ask yourself in order to keep your vision and your big goals at the forefront. And always calibrate your energy to that. Calibrate your energy to what serves you now, but also later. Later meaning around the goal that you are here for. Now, just before we end, I would like to share with you some useful power stories. Some useful power stories that really help me every time I need to reframe situations that are not really that pleasant. So every time there is something that is tougher, something that I need to hold in my field, and as we were saying, to allow my field to go bigger in order to hold it and be always a match for something bigger, for bigger things, I'm reminding myself of stories such as everything is for my good and for the good of others. I am bigger than anything in my life, and everything helps me expand further. Everything I survive can be used for my good and for the good of others. And I am open to guidance around how I can use this for serving the world. Like, as we were saying, I'm going through a rougher patch and I'm deciding, if I'm surviving this, I'm going to use this for my growth and for the growth of others. And I'm open to guidance around how should I talk about this? What is the story that I want to say? And here is something that I want really to make a note around. I see so many people venting on the internet around, the different things that are happening in their lives. And I feel that is not the vibe. It's not the vibe for the growth. I mean, obviously everyone is free to do whatever they want to do, but in the spirit of our own good and growth and the growth of and the good of others, I feel that we should be sharing stuff that is serving others and serving also us by sharing it, in the sense that we can talk about rough patches, we can talk about challenges, we can talk about unpleasant situations. Not only that we could, but maybe we should talk about them more in an authentic way, but also always in an inspiring way, in a powerful way, in a way that really helps us and others. because it shows how powerfully we led ourselves through those rough patches and serves as an inspiration also for others. Any other way of telling the story that is not really inspiring, is not really powerful, is not really self-led, doesn't really serve anyone. It just serves the now. I vent it out, I feel maybe better right now, but then I'm thinking, oh my god, what did I on the internet? Like, you feel me? So everything I survive can be used for my good and for the good of others, and I'm open for guidance on how to best share the lesson in order to serve the world. Everything contributes to my growth and everything contributes to my wealth. This means that we are taking whatever happens to us, we are taking that thing into our field and decide this will help me grow. This grows and expands my field. This helps further expand my power. And the last part of the stories, through my healing, the world is healing. This is when we are processing the thing, like whatever we are taking into our field, and we are deciding, I'm taking it into my field, I'm allowing it to be transmuted, I'm allowing it to be processed. My healing is helping the world healing. We are a network of consciousness. We are all part of a collective. We are always uploading into the collective and downloading from there non-stop information. Whatever we are uploading will serve us, ourselves, and will serve also the collective. So let's be very intentional with what we are taking in, what we are focusing on, what is our energy field, knowing that this is work that is not only for ourselves, it's a responsibility that we have also for the collective. And lastly, I get to integrate it, I get to grow, I get to release the useless, I get to feel great. Guys, this was what I came here to share with you, and I'm so excited to leave these processes and these stories into your hands, and I am really looking forward to hearing how you are going to use them, or how you are using them already in your day-to-day life and in your business. Now, there is something that I want to say about my mastermind, because it has an offer that is ending today. If those of you that are now watching and those of you that are catching the replay, you feel that you are not particularly interested about this part, about my mastermind, then we are done. We are done with the masterclass here today. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for the next masterclass. It will be more focused on the money energy and the relationship with money, and how we are healing that and upgrading that. It will happen tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, and I will be, I will be making an event, and you will be invited there. Now, for those of you that, as we were saying, do not really want to stay, I'm seeing you tomorrow. Thank you so much for taking the time and being here, and looking forward to seeing you on the next 2 days. For those of you that are staying and are interested in finding about the mastermind, I just have a few things to say. The mastermind is an ongoing program. It's an incubator, a business and energy and power incubator that is happening around the year. Like, it's been going on for already 3 years, and I couldn't be prouder happier, more soul-filled when it comes to all the results and all the transformation and all the magic that I got to witness inside of this container. As of last year, this container has a commitment of 12 months, and I was inspired for this moment only to make this commitment a little bit more accessible, which means that for this week you get to apply and do a commitment of only 6 months, if that is something that you are, feeling called towards. And the 12 months look like, oh my god, 12 months looks a little bit of a big commitment for me to make right now. So if you feel called towards working together at the highest level and doing magic, like pure magic, in your business, in your life, I have most of my clients completely change everything. We are coming together in order to work on money, and we end up by changing everything that needed to be upgraded in the most positive ways. So if you are feeling called, there is this option of the 6 months. Now, until the end of today, the price for the 6-month option is $7,000. The normal price for the 12-month option is $12,000. We are speaking about paying full options. There are also payment plans available. What happens in the mastermind? The pure technical details are that it's a 6-month commitment, as we were saying. The price is increasing tonight, and then the 6-month option gets retired at the end of this week on Friday. We get inside the mastermind, we get two monthly calls where we are going really deep. They are hot seat coaching calls, so everyone gets really personalized support. It's a small group, so we are really getting really deep into all the conversations. So it's 2 monthly coaching calls and then a monthly masterclass. But in addition to that, the masterclass is live, and it's being created based on your requests most of the times. Like sometimes I'm feeling what I integrated based on my work with my coaches and my mentors, and sometimes it's just like, Christina, would love to hear more about this. And I'm creating these high-level masterclasses exclusively for the mastermind. In addition to that, there is access to a full vault and archives of the mastermind, which have tens of hours of high-level master classes and activations. And you get also free pass to absolutely all my courses during the mastermind time. And there is always an ongoing conversation on the Voxer, and I feel that this is probably the coolest part of the mastermind. The fact that no matter when, no matter what, people can always ask their questions and get their answers in real time. Nobody needs to wait until the next call. Nobody needs to, wait for the support. There is an ongoing conversation with deeply personalized coaching and support. And then there is the community, and I couldn't be more in love and prouder of the way the women in there are supporting each other. So these are the details. The vibes are that you get expanded. You get expanded, you get to calibrate to the energy of the group, you get to calibrate to my energy, you get to play with possibilities, you get to play with potential. Because most of the times people are just going for what is possible, and we only know what is possible based on the past. But what is available, it's so much bigger than what is possible. So this is the kind of calibration that happens inside the mastermind. We calibrate to the potential. We calibrate to the possibilities, meaning what is available. and we get to normalize the magic. I'm not saying, and I will never say, the women in there couldn't achieve the results that they are achieving without me or without that container. What I'm talking about is allowing the calibration to happen faster, allowing the calibration to happen now, because when we see the big results, when we see the magic, when we see the, oh my God, how did that happen to her and to her and to her, when we see all that and it gets normalized into our world, it's so much easier to create those results. You know that the in sports, in athletics, it takes years until a certain record is being, set to a certain level. But then once it is set as a certain level, it is so much more rapidly being taken down by the next ones and the next ones and the next ones, competitors, because the mind is getting used to that normal, like that record, that performance is normalized, and then it's so much easier to break it down and to get past that, and then past that, and then past that. That's exactly what happens in these containers. We normalize results, we normalize magic, we normalize big mounts, we normalize synchronicities, we normalize clients coming out of nowhere, we normalize sales coming and flowing in unexpectedly. We normalize that. And the more normal it becomes for your nervous system and for your energy, the easier for you is to get behind receiving that. This is the magic that happens in the mastermind. 6 months. The price is increasing tonight. If you really get present in your body, and inside your body you feel that inner push, like, oh my God, I really feel that this is the right move for me. I really feel called to get this support. I really feel called to put myself into that context, into that container. Then reach out. Private message me and I will share with you all the details, answer all the questions, and we'll take it from there. Guys, this is it. Tomorrow we'll be speaking about the mastermind. If you have any questions that are coming up, and about money, mindset, and the relationship with money. There is something that comes up for me, and I will be just following this inspiration, because I do treasure people who are investing in themselves and investing also time in themselves, like you here watching this and staying with me until now. For the people who have come and reached so far in this masterclass, interested in the mastermind, I have a special offer. So the offer of the pricing of $7,000 is for everyone, right? For those of you who got so far until here and that apply for the mastermind, I will be offering you also an additional bonus coaching session with me, which is a 60-minute coaching session. My time, the value for these coaching sessions, 1 hour of coaching session with me, is more or less around $1,000. So that is the bonus that I'm giving you. Please mention when you are applying that you've watched the masterclass until here and claim this bonus for yourself, because it's exclusively for the people who are watching this, who said, yes, I'm in this, I'm taking the time to be present, and I'm so interested that I watched you until here. So this is a mini gift that I felt inspired to offer you. I'm so glad that it came up. I'm very excited. So those of you who are interested, reach out, message me, ask me away all your questions, and let's get you in. For the rest, thank you so much for staying with me until here. Sending you big love, big hugs, and see you tomorrow.